Hello everybody, welcome back to Hidden Harvest with Liz. My name is Liz and we are going to be working on not necessarily a hidden part of the harvest, but we're going to be working on a brand new raspberry bed. And I have already completed the blackberry bed right behind me. Right over here we have got 4 blackberries and I have got some, it's not dandelions. Is it dandelions? I have got some daffodils planted there to help out with certain types of pests, but right now the main goal is going to be doing this next bed. I figured after I got done with that bed, I would show you how I did it and do this bed. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to carve out a path and push the soil up and up against this wood right here. Now later on there is plans on using stones or something like that in its place, but for now these are going to have to do, and it will work to keep the root system stable and everything else like that while the beds are being constructed. But we're going to make the pathway here, we're going to make the beds here, and because this is like on a hill, that means that the water rushes down this particular section of our property, and since we're going to have basically a gully here that will trap some of the water, and it will be here to help out with the plants during the summertime, and it'll slow down the flow of water so that these 2 beds actually gain water without me having to do quite as much. So to start with, I'm going to go ahead and form the walkway, and then I'm going to put cardboard down because I will be getting wood chips for the walkways, but the cardboard keeps it to where if it does rain, I don't get stuck in a whole bunch of mud, and it gives me a nice solid place to walk where I know I'm not stepping in beds and compressing them. And because this area used to be, I think, a trailer park or a caravan park, depending on where you're from, how you call it, the area here is littered with a whole bunch of random things. Like we have found the tops of salt shakers, we found, hang on, weird, I know, but this was actually in the ground. Don't mess the number up. We have found random stuff like this all over the ground, so I've got a bucket that I'm going to be going through the entire bed, raking it up, and as I'm doing it, I'm going to be looking for any trash, garbage, broken pots, I mean, all kinds of stuff I've found in here so far. But we're going to go ahead and get this whole thing formulated, and I will be doing starts and stops on the videos whenever I get to a new section. Okay, first things first, I'm going to go ahead and form the walkway. That way I will have a legitimate spot on where I want to focus all of my efforts. Would have been very, very upsetting if I was to be working in the garden and got caught on this. So I will bring you back when I go ahead and form the actual walkway. I think by the end of this I might be able to put together an entire vase or something. Maybe all the ceramic and stuff I've been finding is actually the remains of a toilet. It's gotta be the remains of a toilet. Maybe. Okay, that's the pathway dug out. Now I've got a little bit extra that I need to shovel into the bed itself to give us a bit more bulk. Okay, I think that's good enough. So, what I need to do now is, I think I'll go ahead and do the cardboard first, that way I'll have a place to not be dirty all the time. That'll work for a minute. Okay, that'll work. All right, pathway is outlined. As soon as it rains, this stuff will flatten out, and as soon as I get the wood chips, it's going to look a little bit better. But I think I need to cut that section of cardboard off, or scooch it back up that way after it flattens itself out. I'm not going to do it right now, though. Next thing I need is I need to smooth it out first. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Now, mind you, whenever I go to finish these beds off, I'm going to be putting like brick or cinder blocks or something like that along the sides to kind of keep the beds together. But for now, I just need to be able to get plants into them. So we're going to clean the bed out, which means looking for random, whatever this is, random toilet pieces, bits of foam, glass, rocks, weeds. We're going to clean it all out and smooth the top of the bed. And while I'm working on it, I will probably also be busting up some of the larger chunks too. Okay, so this is probably going to take a while. The good news is about these beds is they're just wide enough to technically reach all the way across the other side, but there's plenty of room on both sides to work on both sides of the bed if I wanted to go all the way around. But as you guys are standing over there, I'll just work on this side. Okay, well, that's about as smooth as I'm going to be able to get it. I do not think it's level though. I'm gonna have to go get something to check the level. I don't want all of the water to drain off one side of the bed. Okay, before we start trying to judge the level, let me see if I can level out my camera, because this is ridiculous. That's pretty close. Okay, now, I've got myself a tiny little level. Okay, yeah, it's definitely not level. Might just be easier to use the shovel. In a minute, I'm probably going to step on that rake and smack myself in the forehead. I'm trying really hard to get this done because I didn't realize how late in the day it was. And I am all out of time. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Let's see. Oh, much, much better. Nice. Okay. I'm going to go and get all of the amendments that I plan to mix into it. I just got my butt dirty, apparently. We're going to get all the amendments and go ahead and get this baby planted because it's the perfect time to transfer those guys. My amendments for today are peat moss, vermiculite, and some fertilizer. That's all I've got right now. Doing the rest of the garden actually kind of tapped me out on all of my stuff. So we're going to make do with what we've got, and I'll top dress in anything else that I don't have right now. First, peat moss. You might be asking yourself, why in Georgia red clay that holds onto water and compacts itself would you use peat moss? Well, it holds onto water, but as soon as it becomes hydrophobic, it hardens into this unreasonable clay that's like the consistency of a stone. So, if I can keep it from getting to the point to where it loses its ability to absorb water, I can keep it from hardening up. So that's why all this stuff. Typically, I would be adding perlite as well, which I'm currently out of perlite. Used it all. But the good news is as soon as I can get some more, I can side dress and mix in with the other soil. That way, anything else that's going to go in here will benefit from the perlite. Just right now, I don't have any, and we're going to make do. That's all we can do. We've got vermiculite, which will also help with retaining water. Because we are on a slant on a hill, I need to make sure these beds actually properly water. And then, okay, and I'm going to keep these out because I'm actually going to stick some inside the hole where I put the raspberries at. So I'm going to need this one again. And I fully expect this soil to settle And I'm okay with that because it will slowly build up over time. I'll put some manure and stuff, or not manure, but compost on the top of this in between the seasons, and this will build up. And then during the winter time, when yard stuff starts going on sale again, I'll slowly start getting like the stones to side dress and stones to go on the front instead of the wood, because the wood will eventually decay. You know what occurs to me? Why did I make sure this thing was level before I put the amendments in it? Because I'm going to stir it up anyway. At least the bed was mostly level before we started. Pretty sure that counts. I will be finding things inside this bed for the next year. It's fine though, it's fine. Call it treasure hunting. Treasure hunting with Liz. What will she find in her raspberry patch next? Nobody knows. I'm thinking I'll probably bring some leaf compost over here tomorrow because I also need to do the other bed as well. And I think leaf compost will probably do really good over here. Okay, let me go get my 2 plants. We'll go ahead and get them in the ground. And also, I don't know whether or not it actually captured me walking down the path to come down here, but that path will eventually either be stonework or concrete pathway leading further down into the property, but right now it's just like dirt. Okay, I've got 2 of these. I've got 4 blackberries, but only 2 raspberries, and I think I'm okay with that. Should I choose to, do I want to leave room to get more? Because I'd have to push it back this way, and our path is going to curve in towards these beds. So I think 2 is going to be fine. Yeah, I really do think so. Okay, so where are we going to set these guys? 1 here. 1 there. That should be more than enough space, right? Plus I can put some flowers, some perennial flowers in here. You know, to decorate the outsides. I think that'll work well. Yeah. Okay. I'm still finding stuff. That's glass. Awesome. That's not a shovel. That's a shovel. Okay. That should be deep enough. Can't tell if that's another thing coming out or what's going on with that, but all right. There we go. All right. I need you to lay in there as flat as you possibly can. Oh, I forgot to put some more fertilizer. I'll just have to top dress. Now, this is a organic granulated fertilizer that is 555. I'm not necessarily worried about getting a whole bunch of fruit. I would like fruit, I won't lie to you. But at the same time, I much prefer this thing focus on root development and growth. And now your turn. Just a little bit. Mix it in. Ooh-wee. That one was getting some roots. Here, let me spread these roots out. Also, if you don't use a granulated fertilizer, I wouldn't recommend putting it straight into the root area. I would wait until you finish covering it and watering it, and then maybe even wait a day, and then put it on there. Instead of putting some sort of a harsh liquid fertilizer, you could wind up burning a fresh plant. It would be a bad idea. The granulated has to break down the soil, which means it's not completely immediately ready, and is less likely to burn roots. Putting it in there, and then bringing it back up. That way we have all of that soil. It falls into the crevices. Well, guys, that is it for the raspberry patch. I'm not going to say this is the best soil to plant it in or anything. This is a make do with what we have. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the raspberry patch. And I'll see if I can do like a quick summary of what we did. We basically tilled out straight and then pulled all of the soil from one area, this area, out, and to hill it up here so that we can capture some of the rainwater, hold it onto the hill, and then we raised it up, cleaned it out, planted us some raspberries. Hopefully this time next year we'll have ourselves some really, really strong raspberries, but with gardening, sometimes there are failures, and then you never know. Something could survive. Like I just spotted a plant that I don't know how it got there. We'll get back to that, guys. I am still discovering things that are on the property that I did not know existed. One of these days I will be able to do an exhaustive tour and actually cover everything in one video, but until then, I will see you guys in the next one, where I try to figure out something else. I'll see you then. You have a wonderful day, wonderful night, and you stay shiny. Bye!